Lionel Richie's cousin came there, wanted a perm.
He wanted a perm?
He wanted to relax.
Mirror, 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 looking in the mirror, devil on my shoulder, asking God to help me get my life right. Yeah. Gotta stay focused, call it social distance, can I get distracted?
Hey, welcome to the Shit Too Real podcast. I'm your host, Dope Since 83. For the viewers that's viewing in, if you heard the song in the background, that's my nephew. Unfortunately, he lost his life to gun violence, and this is a way to keep his name alive. This is a way to keep his voice alive. So we're just gonna take a little moment for that. All right. Thank you to all the viewers. Make sure you go subscribe. Make sure you go comment. Make sure you go like. Make sure you go subscribe to the channel to support the channel. Today's host is a very important person in my life right now. My life forever, honestly, because she gave birth to me. You know what I mean? So through all the trials and tribulations, through our story, the reason that we named the podcast Shit Too Real, because we have a lot of conversations and a lot of situations in our life that's just extremely shit too real. And the episode 1 is My Story Isn't Over, featuring my mother, Beveryln Staples. And I'd like to introduce you to her. Mom, please take a seat.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good. How are
Okay,
you?
I'm doing outstanding. I appreciate you. Just tell the folks your travels. You know, you
My
flew
name is
in
Beveryln
on the
Staples.
15th.
I flew into D.C. on the 15th of this month. Really nice city here where I'm at right now, my son's place. I'm 63 years old, and I have been through a lot and endured a lot and came from a lot.
To Ohio, mom,
Oh,
grandmother.
yeah, we moved from Mississippi. My mom and my uncle brought us all up here, and we lived with my grandfather for a while. I don't remember too much about the beginning of, coming to Ohio. I remember the ride, coming home, coming to Ohio from Mississippi.
What you talking about the ride? Y'all was in
The car ride. It was like the Clampets.
It was like
like the Clampets.
Who drove?
My uncle, LB, I think he brought us.
Uncle LB? Hey, Uncle LB. Hey, one thing I know about Uncle LB, he had some construction site up in New Jersey. He said some people buried him, but in it. That's all I know about Uncle LB, but that's real.
That's for another story.
Hey, but
That's for another
Uncle
story.
LB.
But yeah.
Okay, so we fast forward from Columbus, being born in Columbus, Mississippi. Now we in Youngstown, Ohio. From there, what was it like?
In the beginning, I remember coming into, our family, our mother.
Who was all up there? Who was all in? Because I know
I
everybody.
have 5 brothers.
Okay.
It's just me and 5 brothers.
Okay.
And my mom, and we ran an after-hour joint.
What you mean?
We had an after-hour joint.
What you mean?
Where
What you mean? After
we had an after-hour joint. We lived where we had, we sold liquor.
Okay.
We sold shots of liquor. People come in. And you know what? My first taste of alcohol was when you get up in the morning, you clean the table off. They had left some out, so we started drinking with them, So that was my first taste of alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
How old were you then?
oh man, probably about 10 or 11.
Who was running it?
I guess my
was it
mother
mom?
and
It was mom?
my mom, yeah. And
Yeah.
it was normal to me, just normal.
Yeah.
To grow up in an environment like that. But it led to a whole lot of other things, but I wouldn't change nothing about it in my life.
Ever.
Growing up, because I see a lot of memories in that, a lot of pain in that as well.
Yeah. So from the after hour spots, you having 6 brothers. What were they?
I had 5 brothers.
5 brothers. What were they?
They
into?
were the athletes. They was athletes.
They was athletes.
They was athletes.
Of course.
We all went to school. They were athletes, and we moved to the projects.
Westlake or Briar Hill?
Westlake and Briar Hill both, and we would go to school from there. But one thing I remember about the situation is that we didn't have to shop for clothes and stuff like that. We had people that do that for us.
Oh, for real?
You know, we have to shop for nothing. We had people that they called them boosters in the day.
Yeah.
Boosters. Hey, she need to. Well, we didn't have to do anything because my mother was in another lifestyle at the time.
Damn, I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
my
Excuse my
mother was in
language,
another
Mom.
lifestyle. She was pardon me.
I said, excuse my language. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
we was in another lifestyle at the time, and you know, she dealt drugs, you know, and that's all I knew. You know, I still went to school, but we didn't have to do anything as far as
So grandma, she dealt drugs.
my mother.
Yeah.
Thought it was normal.
Yeah.
That was the atmosphere I grew up in. Thought it was normal.
Did you start contributing to the sales of drugs in the house? Like, did you see a change in?
We all had to work.
Mm.
We all had to have a hand in something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you may not know what I mean because you weren't born yet.
Right.
I didn't have you till I was 23 years old.
Right.
You know, yeah, we all had to not really contribute to the drugs as far as, you know, selling them, but people would, you know, come to the door. We had people that worked there in our
In the
house
house?
that did everything.
Really?
Clean,
What?
answer the door, you know,
Wow.
they would take the money upstairs, slide on their mom's bedroom door, bring the product out, you know, stuff like that. We had people that did all that. We didn't have to go to the store, grocery store, none of that stuff at the time.
Wow.
So that was, I mean, that was a normal, to me it was normal, you know, so some normalcy was in there, and that's what I thought that it was, you know.
Yeah. And what age was this?
We got to be about 14, 15 years old.
From that point,
From that point,
who was the oldest? And when did the oldest
My
person
brother-
decide to take a turn and everybody start taking their own turn?
well, my
everybody
brother
start doing
Henry,
their
he
own
went
thing?
to, my oldest brother, he lives in Georgia now. He went to...
He got shot,
He
right?
got shot.
He got
Yeah,
shot and then he went to the army.
He got
right?
shot by the police.
Oh, wow.
By the police in his shoulder.
I didn't know that.
And he, his friend got killed by something else, but he went to the army.
Wow.
Went to the army and he stayed there. Stayed
Okay.
down in Georgia when he got stationed down there. So he's been down there 50-something years. in
From
Georgia.
there,
From
then-
there, my youngest brother's Eric, he went to college. Went to
He
Edinburgh,
was a-
played
he was a
football.
quarterback.
Yep.
Yep.
My brother Kenny went to Michigan.
okay.
My brother Colin, he went to Kent State.
And he was a safety.
He was a safety.
He knocked
football.
people out.
They was all in the sports, and you know, I always wanted to just be there with my mother and try to mimic and try to do everything that she did. You know, I wanted to be her.
That's why you take care of everybody right now.
I wanted to be her. She took care of everybody. She took care of the
I
neighborhood.
remember the
People would be
project was-
hungry. You know, she
Yeah.
would go in the freezer, give them food for the neighborhood. You know, stuff like that. But I wanted to be her.
Yeah.
You know, some
So,
all of it.
so from that point, everybody went to college. Everybody doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, you told me a story about you in Detroit. How you end up in Detroit?
Got back and go to Chicago first.
Okay, go back to Chicago then. Come
Chicago.
on, you tell the
Back to
story.
Chicago
You
first.
tell it.
Well, what happened was,
What about
okay,
Chicago?
No, when I got out of school, I think I was 17.
Okay.
And I went to hair school. I went to beauty school.
Okay.
I did that, and that's when I met your dad. After that, you know, went to Chicago, thought I was gonna make it. Matter of fact, I took you with me.
Why did you think you was gonna make
No,
it?
at the time I didn't take
when you went there.
because I was going to look for a job in hair.
Okay.
You know, I have family there, and I still have family in Chicago.
Right, we do.
I worked at a place called Mr. Fly's Magic Home. Never forget it.
Hey, for anybody that's watching that's in
You know,
Chicago,
Chicago.
hey,
It was on
hey,
Ashland.
I don't know, but y'all know.
From
I
Mr.
don't
Fly's
know.
Magic Home, and it was so ironic because when I got a job there, I was just permanent hair and washing hair at the time. You know, they always kept the doors locked, people to come in, and I'm remembering this as I'm sitting here talking to you. You know, Lionel Richie's cousin came there, wanted a perm.
He wanted a perm?
He wanted to relax. Lionel Richie's cousin came and pointed out for to relax with me. He said, but you know what? The whole time was I didn't realize that they were selling drugs out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were selling drugs out of here. And, I let that stuff stay on that man's head for so long.
You burn him up.
I burned him up. Yeah, burned him up. But that time, Lionel Richie's cousin, I'll never forget that.
Oh,
His hair was just coming out in chunks. And so he like,
Oh,
"Fly, get
man.
over here and get this girl out of
his
here."
hair coming out of his
Chunks, I mean, it's just coming
Stop.
out, coming out. I would wash it out and come all out and see. So I got fired, of course. I got fired, and they told me to get my stuff on never do that. I was just trying to make it in the hair business in Chicago. I did try to make it in the hair business in Chicago, and so I left Chicago, went back home.
You went back to Youngstown?
Went back to Youngstown. And,
Okay.
I met your dad right after that. And,
What was he doing? How you meet him?
At the time, I didn't know what he was doing. Excuse me. He was 13 years older than me.
Okay.
He was 13 years older than me, and at the time, I didn't know what he was doing. I was working for the state developmental center for mentally ill and people, and I had my own place. All that with the drug and all that didn't take place. I didn't consume anything at the time.
Right.
And I was dipping down with some marijuana like we all did,
Mm-hmm.
But I remember him and I got a place in Austin town.
Was I born yet?
No, you weren't born yet.
Okay.
And he, I think I met him at a bar. And he kept, and I met him through my Uncle Junior too. They was all hanging together.
Oh, he hanging with Junior Brown?
Yeah, at the time.
Oh my God.
At the time. At the time. So anyway, I met him and we got a place. So I was going to work. I was working midnights, and he would come in and go in the bathroom. What is this man doing in the bathroom all this time? He would go in the bathroom every night. He would come in. It's like, what are you doing in that bathroom? Don't come in here. And when I walked in on him one time, there was some cocaine laying there on the sink there. Like, what are you doing? You don't want to know, get out of here. So I said, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try it.
How old were you then?
Oh, I was 21-ish. Because I didn't get pregnant.
And he was 13 years older than you, so he was 34.
Yeah.
Grown man.
So I said, let me try, I don't want to see what turn you on, keep you in that bathroom all the time, keep you going. So I tried it. It went on to work. It didn't affect me at first, we were snorting. And it didn't affect me at all at first. So I kept on working. We moved from there, we moved to Northwood, where I got pregnant with you. And I wasn't doing anything.
So from that point, when you got pregnant with me, I know my dad had other siblings. How was your relationship with them?
Everybody was good. It was all good. I think your grandmother was the first one that knew that I was pregnant.
How was the relationship with my grandmother?
Oh, Big Ma and I, we were real good. We had good, like a family bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a family bond where we still are, John.
How did y'all coexist? Like, cause I know. You know what I mean? Like, how did y'all really, coexist? Like, what
do you mean?
I don't want to go into my brother's story, but when she got murdered, like, my dad, he had my brother bunch, and you know about her. And when she got murdered on, was it Memorial Day? Mm-hmm. How did y'all coexist during that time?
We just did. I guess
You just
did. Not
did.
good by her, but with no hard feelings, but we still, that was them, they were doing it, whatever over there, and I was still doing my thing, it didn't matter to me. But,
okay, from y'all separation, of course
you going too far into stuff then, okay. You going too far into stuff. I came back from Chicago, and I remember after I had you, I went back to Chicago, I took you with me. You was about 9 months old.
Okay.
And I went there to stay, to live.
To live in Chicago?
Yeah, I think I was going to live mine for a minute, took you with me. And I remember I dropped you on the bus.
I remember the story about the bus. You say you dropped me, but everybody I talked to said you threw me.
I dropped you on the bus.
No, they be like, man, I remember you came to Chicago, you was on that bus and your mom threw you out there.
No, I dropped him.
Okay. Hey, however it happened.
But then your dad came and got us because he didn't want us there.
He didn't want us there in Chicago?
Junior came to Chicago and got us.
Why not?
Because he wanted me there with him. I guess for sure.
Sure.
But yeah, he came and got us, and I went back, and my mother had gotten bigger in her game.
So when I was born, she was expanding her business.
Mm-hmm. She had got bigger in her game, and she had me to go to Detroit I took a plane in Detroit one day, a commuter plane, to pick up some drugs and bring it back.
How much?
I don't remember. It wasn't nothing, but I did. I went there and did that, and
For Mark.
yeah. Then one time I took you to Detroit, and we stayed there for a while. I didn't get back with the drugs at all. So.
So you never came back with them. You went there
That's
to
what-
get them.
We stayed there for a
And then-
while. My brother Kenny came and got us.
So
At
you
that
went to
time.
get the drugs, but never made it back to deliver the drugs.
Right.
And you just stayed there.
Right, and then that's just when I started dipping and dabbing a little bit more. First it was the powder.
Yeah.
You know, at the time in '83, that year, you know, that era right there, it was acceptable. You know, it wasn't all the crazy stuff in it. You know, even with the crack and stuff going on, people made their own. It wasn't all like it is. I guess how it is now. You know, it's been 30-something years, but it was acceptable. It was like a rich man's high. You know, it was insanity, but you would think that, I mean, 80s, that's when it really, really hit the town, hit the streets is in the 80s. But, and I think I started smoking it. Freebase, and it wasn't
Start.
freebase, and when you do it your own
What year
self.
was that, about 80,
oil,
86,
84,
84?
85. And I remember that I had a responsibility, I had a son, you know, and I felt myself pulling away from everybody and everything, you know, just pulling away from everybody and everything. And I talked to my aunt Bernice. I said, you know what? I'm not able to take care of my son the way he needs to be taken care of. Would you take him? And she took you, you know, my mom. Because I knew that I couldn't keep you safe. And I want you to be safe. So I gave you, let my heart raise you. And I want you to be safe. Okay? Because you was the first love of my life. Because I didn't have it until I was 23 years old. You was the love of my life. And I want to see nothing happen to you while I was in the streets. Nothing. And that's why Bertie's got you, because I wanted to keep you safe.
So from that point,
I didn't want you to see that side of that lifestyle at all. I kept you away from that. I want you to get away from that. I wouldn't see that anybody would want their kids to witness a lifestyle of drugs and crime and things like that, you know what I mean? I didn't want you to witness that. So I did the best thing I could to make sure you were safe.
from that point, when you knew you was going down the wrong path, the wrong road, you know what I mean?
Spiraling out of control.
Spiraling out of control.
Spiraling out of control.
What I do know is that I remember being at Grandma Lula house in the projects. I remember people coming in the house, and I remember Aunt Julie there, Aunt Bernice, you wasn't there. And they say, well, wasn't much worse. I was on Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
I was on Thornton now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why I lived better.
She say, she walked up the steps. She said, you could call me mom, or you call me auntie. You're gonna be living with me for a while. Brandon and Dana, about 6 or 9 months or so, maybe a year.
Yeah.
And they went to a foster home. What I remember about that whole experience, Mom, I was angry.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? The best thing about that experience right there, whether he was angry or
Saved
not,
my life.
that was my bottom.
Yeah,
When my kids went to a foster home, that was my bottom.
yeah.
A lot of women just let their kids go. That was it for me. That was it for me. And that's when I got my life together, back on track.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't realize with drugs and stuff like that, that they don't have a bottom. They could keep going back to it and making excuses for it. I never went back.
Right.
Because that was it for me.
How you end up
It's
going
my-
back? The story that I know is that you was smoking dope with the in the practice with the mob daughter Somebody pulled
That's something that, that I
back.
don't really want to talk about.
Okay.
Something I don't really want to talk about, but
Okay.
that's a whole different story right there. It's like, when it came to my kids, first with you, I did the best thing that I felt for you to keep you safe so you wouldn't be exposed to that. And when Brandon and Dana got taken, that was the best thing for them. Because it showed me at the time that I had something to fight for. And I had to fight for all three of y'all.
Yeah.
That's when I went to Ashtabula.
So from Ashtabula to the road to recovery, how hard was it? Was it hard? Was it being, what was the hardest part about being away?
It wasn't even about being away, because I couldn't go back.
Okay.
Because I couldn't go back. The hardest thing was that I didn't know the difference between, say for instance, you get up in the morning and you make your bed. We had people do that for us. I didn't even know how to go shopping.
You talking about
in Ashtabula treatment.
Oh, because of
because I didn't ever have to do any of that stuff. People did that
because
for
of
us.
lifestyle.
Because of lifestyle.
Okay.
They said this thing now, the drugs don't get your lifestyle will.
Right.
And it was real hard because you lie and you manipulate for so long. You had to think about change. You had to think about change. If you're gonna change, I had to change everything but my name, and I had to change my name.
Yeah.
They say change everything about it but your name. Sometimes you have to change your name.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Change started coming, just gradually starting to lift the cloud a little bit. The cloud had lifted a little bit, and it was there, that I started, asking God to help me. I knew these three little boys needed me. Even you was about 9 or 8 then. I knew that those three little boys needed me. That was it. I fought for y'all.
Yeah.
I fought hard for y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I did. And I tell these women out here today, these young girls out here doing hey, it wasn't, back then it wasn't as bad because it was a little span, but the lifestyle, I had to do a family tree. And everybody in my group played a part.
When you was in recovery?
Mm-hmm. Everybody in my group played a part. Who was your brother, your mother, your siblings right here. Everybody played a role play, like a family tree. And they wanted me to see where I fit in with that family, because the family was still doing what they was doing. Right. And I'm over here, I didn't fit in with that family no more. At that time.
You talking about our family?
My brother, my mother, my siblings.
Correct.
My siblings.
Based on your direction.
Right. And it was for so long that so many things I thought was normal. It was normal to me, It's just normal. This is what you do, Hey, you wake up.
I remember.
We all got a 16th of dope every day.
And what you did with it?
Yeah, you sell it, you do what you're gonna do with it. You don't come back and get no more. That's how real it was.
That's crazy. That's absolutely.
We all, and it was insanity. And my mother, God rest her soul, she wanted to make sure that we were okay, so we don't have to go out in the street and get them from nobody else and ask for anything.
Mm.
And that's the truth, And it's like the lifestyle. I didn't know how to do a whole lot of changing, like the lying and manipulating and just, everything to go along with that lifestyle. And I asked God to help me. And, I depend on God today for everything that I do. Everything.
Strong woman.
It's been 32 years since I indulged in anything. 32 years.
So once the recovery happened, right? And
I got you back.
There we go.
Got you back.
You don't have the kids, now what?
Got you back.
What was that process like?
I didn't have them. Did I have them?
You had, they was at Goldie.
Right, they was the babysitter.
Okay.
Child care lady, yeah. I had help. I had a support system.
Okay.
I had an awesome team. Had an awesome support system. This lady that I met while I was there, she took me in before I got y'all with me, and it was an awesome support team I had. And I leaned on them for everything. How you do this, how you do that, how you do this. But I still remember watching my mother cook and watching my grandmother cook. And my mother wasn't she taught me a whole lot of things as far as being a young lady. Because I was an early girl, other than she was always, she would sell something all my life. I knew she would sell something. It wasn't always drugs, but it was something, alcohol, whatever. But and it's a generational thing, because I don't know where her story came from.
Right.
You know, I don't know where she came from in her life, and I don't know where, you know, I had to break that when I came to my kids.
Right.
You know, they never seen me do anything.
No.
You never seen me
Never.
do anything.
Never.
And Brittany, I had her clean.
Right.
That was, oh boy, you was 5'13", Brittany was 7'14". You was 5 pounds, you was a big little thing. But yeah, it's a blessing right now, you know? It's a blessing to be where I'm at right now because I was able to, a couple of my friends who couldn't get it together, I raised their kids.
Yeah.
You know, I got 2 twins.
And I was going to get into that. Like, I actually have it on my notepad to get it, like, how many kids you raised.
Oh, man.
We could talk about it. Like,
My 4 and Deshaun and Devon, they was a blessing. They were my godsons. They was like 8
Twins.
I got them. Twins.
I remember them.
One got his master's in medical science, and
Yes,
one
he
went to
does,
the
from
Marine
Ohio
Corps.
State, right?
One went to the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And Isaiah and Shania got them.
Mm-hmm.
She's wonderful. She's my baby girl. She's 19. She's 20 now. And Isaiah, unfortunately, he took a wrong turn because I gave him back at 15 to his mother. You know, I raised him, and she called me, and, you know, this and another. I gave him back. And when you parent out of guilt, and you know that, you know, allow them kids to do anything. Well, I didn't allow them to do anything they wanted to do, did I?
No.
I didn't play. I was like, I was in the military or something, but when you allow your child to come in when they want to without checking and see where they go on this and another, they can get into and do what they want to do. So he killed somebody on Mother's Day. I gave him back last year, well, 2 years before.
Yeah.
I gave him back at 16 years old.
Now
He
he's
killed-
fighting for his
he's
life
gone for
another way.
good. Fighting for his life, and I love that little boy. But when you can't raise your child from my home, when you can have your child back when you think you're ready, and the first thing she said, I wish I'd let you keep him. Because you cannot allow your kids to do what they want to do.
No.
You can't.
They gonna do what they want to do anyway at some point in time, but as long as you have them to, you know, provide information.
Because see, I would
and
put
care.
him on punishment, and I would be questioned, why is he on punishment? And because this is the way I raise kids, you know.
You got to do something.
Yeah, so I do. I pray for Isaiah. I pray for his mother. You know.
All right. So we didn't touch on many subjects. We didn't start from the beginning to the middle, to the middle, to the middle, to the middle.
To the middle, to the middle. It's a lot
It's
in
a lot of-
between.
it's
Right
all
now,
in
it take all
between,
day.
like,
I can
you're
write a book on it, but you know what? The blessing is that a lot of people didn't come out of it. That I rely on God and everything I do. I'm an avid worshiper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I go to church. I help other people. I go out and we feed the homeless. You know, I try to give back to people who didn't want to give back to us. Per se, when he was out there, you know what I mean. But
Yeah, I remember going to the mission down on the mission. I remember Miss Green. You know, I understand the village concept. You know, it really does take
takes a
a village.
village,
You know,
it
when we was
really
in, when we was in Broad Hill, you look to the left and right, everybody's in the same situation.
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
Everybody
it was in the
was.
80s, coming into the 90s. It was
Literally.
like, but look at it, the world now, how you look at it. You know, these kids out here think that it's okay to
They think it's
just
sweet.
go shooting
They
up
think
each
it's
other,
sweet.
killing each other. It's like,
It wasn't sweet then.
it happened.
It was real.
And everything that's going on right now that happened in the beginning, in the book of Genesis, when Cain killed his brother. You know, everything's happening now, so really
Bloodshed.
going on. Bloodshed. You know, and it's like I told Jackie, I said, it starts at home.
It does start.
Starts at home. You think I would raise some kids under my mentality at that time in my life? No. It wouldn't be fair to them.
No, we didn't.
Be
We
fair to them.
either dead or in
Oh,
jail.
yeah. Because y'all do what y'all want to do, and you can't.
Yeah.
No one raised some kids under those circumstances at all.
So, well, I appreciate your mom for, you know, just, you know, keeping it real. You know, shit too real.
You know, there's no sugarcoat. There's a lot in between, but you know, it's
it's more.
It's more.
And
But
we
you know,
dive into it.
we touched on the basics, the real part. That I don't have no reason to sugarcoat that because I hope it helps somebody out there.
Yeah.
That's my dream. I hope it helps somebody. I helped a lot of women get to recover, get to treatment.
And we dealing with it like right now. Like, it's the crazy thing about it. We say generation.
Mm-hmm.
We're still dealing with it.
Yeah.
We're
Somewhere you
like
have to break that
within
generational
like
curse.
my direct connection with my my cousins,
Mm-hmm.
where we should have seen it. Majority said no. Some say yes. And we're dealing with it right now. 30 plus years old, doing things that we seen our parents do. That's not the right thing. I ain't gonna say what's right or what's wrong. You do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, you know right from wrong.
The one thing I say about kids with y'all is they watch everything you would do.
They do.
They watch everything we do, and had I kept you under those,
I
in
probably
that
would have been doing the
situation,
same thing.
I had to break it somewhere. I'm not gonna allow
That's
my
real.
son, to grow up to see me and want to just do that too. A lot of people, that's why these kids are like they are now, because they want to mimic what their parents do.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's what happens, baby. And
Wow.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Firstborn.
For sure. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. It was an emotional segment, like I thought it would be, honestly. When I first said that we was going to do the podcast, I was thinking about who should I have on my show first. I explored sometimes with my brother. He said, it got to be your mother. In order to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from. So I reached out to her. She said, I'm down. I said, it's going to expose a lot of things. It's going to bring out some emotion, going to bring out some healing. And that's exactly what it did. So from this point, for all the viewers that goes, that's viewing this segment, try to take something away from it. Try to take some type of healing, some type of connection. If you have a gap where you're trying to explore for who you are, if we said some things that connect you, let that connect. And let that be your start. And that's what we do on Shit 2 Real Podcast. I'm your host, Dope Since 83. And we love you. Much blessings.